All right, folks, this is my next XRP warning. Please share this message out far and wide to anyone who owns or is considering getting in on XRP. You need to see this video and understand why, after XRP pumps so hard, we always get these massive sell-offs. And so understand that you're investing in one of the most rigged, manipulated assets in the world. And the reason why is because it was such a threat to the incumbents. That's why the SEC sued Ripple. We now have clarity for XRP, but you have massive XRP whale positions that will be dumping on us, and that is going to be coming after we get the next pumps that are going to be taking place during this bear market. When we begin the next bull run, the same thing's going to happen as we just got after the historical ruling from Judge Torres, a massive pump to $1. We busted all of the exchanges, and then we dump back down. Here we are at 50 cents. I want our community to be prepared. You know, $5 is going to be life-changing for many people. That's fantastic. And I'm not here to tell you whether you need to make a move at $5, at $10. There's some in the community that say, I'm only waiting for 4-digit XRP. Whatever your plan in your program is going to be, have it written out, have it ready to go, and understand that the whales who control this asset are going to be selling off into these pumps, and that is why we're going to have violence taking place in the XRP charts for years to come until we get massive institutional adoption and we see this asset stabilized at a much higher price and consistent flows of liquidity that we're settling on a daily basis coming through XRP after we've completed our mission. What we're building out right now is going to change the world, and they were well on their way. The SEC tried to stop us and slow us down. They couldn't. And we have the facts and the circumstances on our side that are going to have a complete victory for Ripple, in my opinion. Maybe a little slap on the wrist fine served up to the SEC to get them out of our way. Then the next domino to fall is going to be the first U.S. bank institution payment provider saying that we're going live with XRP. Okay, so with all of these announcements, say Judge Torres denies interlocutory appeal, say we get a settlement, say we get the first bank institution live with XRP, I expect us to see similar pumps, just like we got leading up to the proper party. We warned everyone, guys, we're probably going to see a pre-game pump and an after-party sell-off. And that's what happened. Up to 55 cents, sell-off back down to 51 cents where we're at right now. But same thing's going to happen if Judge Torres denies interlocutory appeal, if we get the settlement, first U.S. bank goes live, where we're going to see that news, get everyone excited, FOMO in, we get that pump, and then it's going to just continually follow up with sell-offs. This blog right here from Galgatron is a classic one to put this into perspective and provide context on what I'm talking about. Anders originally had shared this one once again, and he says, I think this is a perfect time to post Galgatron's best work, in my opinion, The Anatomy of a Whale. If you feel down about the price of XRP or any other asset, keep this in mind. And this does apply to other digital assets as well. Basically every other stock too. With every single asset in an investment opportunity, you're going to have the whales that get in early, got big bags, they can move the market. And what we're going to explore here in this blog post is how they are going to manipulate this market and how they are going to sell and dump on us after we get these massive historical pumps, just like the one that we already got. Are we going to do 50,000, 60,000% again, like we did in the 2017, 2018 bull run? Probably not, okay? But we're going to see some excitement here for XRP, and I want our community to be prepared. That's why I'm covering this one here again today. The timing of this is perfect. The Anatomy of a Whale. This was originally posted February 21st, 2018. Are you fed up with XRP seemingly defying all logic? Great news equals nothing, or maybe even a drop in price. How about those random 10% gains in 5 minutes that of course you missed out on? It's time to accept the truth. Whales rule the day, and you can choose to deny their existence or significance, but the numbers are right in front of your eyes and numbers don't lie. This article will show you how to turn the tables on the whales. Not unintentionally, my prior post about whales manipulating XRP was quite controversial and has offended some of the more fervent XRP patriots. Nothing drops a fan base quicker than a reality check, LOL. And I'll admit, I'm definitely an XRP patriot. I'm definitely an XRP army. I'm definitely all in on this asset class, putting a dent in the universe, and also winning the regulatory legal battle here in the United States as well. I definitely am emotionally invested as well, 100% guilty. But I'm willing to accept the reality too. I'm willing to take a look here at this thing, a critical look at it, and understand it. As much as my mom would say that I probably should apologize for desecrating the XRP gods, strangely, I instead feel compelled to present this even longer dissertation, you love it, stop whining, on the nature of whales and their feeding cycles, just to be sure that horse is really dead. Before I begin, people, I know nobody wants to hear about conspiracy theories. I can almost see you covering your eyes yelling, I can't hear you, I can't hear you, but whales are a effing reality. They are numerous, they are rich beyond comprehension, and their influence is colossal. Don't blindly dismiss their existence simply because you don't want to sound like a whack job, like the time you saw Bigfoot and told no one. No, you need to have open eyes and understanding so that you can make sense of what you see in the markets, and that's why we're covering this blog right here. We want to be able to make sense of these markets, the moves, why we get the pumps, why we get the dumps, and what's coming next for XRP. Trust me when I say that knowing what's really going on will make the journey a lot less stressful. Fear-based denial doesn't help anything. That's right, we need to lean into this. Also, this is entirely my own thesis, terminology, and beliefs, all based on my years of experience in trading and various discussions and observations that I've had over those years. Apologies for the length. I did try to keep it entertaining, but there's just a lot of information that had to come out in order to complete the picture. Now, on to business. Let's start by taking a look at the three types of investors from smallest to largest. So first off, we have the average investor playing with a relatively small amount of money, maybe $20,000 to $10,000, but it seems like a lot to them, more than they should be risking. They exhibit compulsive tendencies, which lend them into this risky trading arena in the first place. They have very little experience trading, trades emotionally instead of strategically, super impatient, trades often, sometimes multiple times a day, doesn't sleep, eat, or shower, looks like a crackhead, unhappy. Okay, I'm getting a laugh out of this. This is funny. Tends to exhibit strong brand loyalty, personifying and emotionally attaching to and vigorously defending their chosen coin, and venomously and perpetually hating on any other coin that mistreated them, or even if the other coins are just doing better. Easily swayed by opinions of others, particularly media, even if disreputable. Highly reactive to FUD or FOMO. Focuses mostly on a coin's unit price and ignores, misunderstands other values like volume, market cap, order books, walls, etc. The experienced investor lost an effing obscene amount of money during the progenitor average investor stage. Lots of battle scars. If I hadn't made so many mistakes, you would all be building me a pyramid right now. Trades in a goal-oriented fashion, by the book. No emotional trades at all. Knows how to capitalize or common opportunities, buy the dip, buy the rumor, sell the news, don't chase, etc. Doesn't have brand loyalty, looks only at fundamentals defined by a coin's utility, can shift position quick when it makes sense. Patience is their primary strategy. Doesn't have much invested in poop coins, but some just in case they get lucky. Most of their money is in the coins they see having a long-term potential. Sleeps well, learning to be a chef, smells the roses, blogs a lot, sexy. Like, if you want to be sexy, folks, this is the path right here. Love it. Rarely trades big amounts, but probably trades small amounts frequently in the poop coins for fun. Can pick out FUD and FOMO manipulation a mile away. Doesn't trust anybody or any media outlet whatsoever. They know that everyone and everything is full of crap, just trying to pump their coins or FUD on everyone else's. And I would say that with me too, guys, right? I know some of you guys, you do trust me, but always verify. I appreciate your trust. I work diligently to earn your trust, but I ask that you even verify me as well. Pay close attention to sharp volume changes indicative of insider trading instead of watching the news. Uses TA for the only thing it's good for, which is predicting when the next grocery bagger is going to promote TA, essentially saying it's not worth much. Recognizes that bots are an essential tool to be able to capitalize on 24/7 trading opportunities. Most probably don't have access to bot tech, but the majority of bots out there are run by people in this category. And now, for the star of our show, the whale investor. At its most fundamental definition, a whale is someone or some entity, hedge fund, that contains a very large stake in a coin or multiple coins, such that they can significantly influence price and volume should they choose to buy and sell in large quantities. As I see it, there are three types of whales: benevolent, wants to act in ways that benefit everyone; long-term stakeholder, holds a lot but doesn't actively trade any of it, and profiteer, trying to increase their net worth. I will focus mostly on the profiteer for the remainder of this post because they represent the most critical influence upon a coin's real-time value. Whales are investors just like the rest of us, and with absolute certainty, they want their investment to increase in value over time. Really beat that into your brain. Recognize this fact is absolute key to becoming an experienced investor. Keep beating it into your head. Whales want a higher price eventually. Say it again. Greedy. Bottomless, ceaseless, satanic greed. They better beg for forgiveness, those darn whales. They are not suicidal. They will not destroy the value of their assets by dumping all at once, and this is critical to understand. Understand that whales cannot possibly cash everything out at once, because if they try, they will absolutely crush the price, and the vast majority of the remaining coins will be worthless. It would be utterly senseless, literally burning money, and goes against their very nature that made them whales in the first place. Do not expect self-destructive behavior from any kind of whale. It still amazes me, and this is what I want, folks need to hear this and understand this. It still amazes me that people even now still think that Ripple might want to dump all their XRP on the market. Why, people? Why? Why would you drive a car off a cliff just because you can? Ridiculous. Whales can and do work with each other, literally or passively. They need to be coordinated in order to avoid tripping over each other, canceling out their mutual efforts. They either form private groups, finding each other on forums with throwaway accounts to disguise who they are, or they watch other whale activity, which is quite obvious to the trained eye, and synchronize their bots, or let other whales do all the work and just compete for their coins that get shaken out by loose hands. That was a big hint, day traders. Don't confuse them for insider traders. Some of them may be, but that's not necessarily common. Their only advantage is being able to move the market, not see what's coming. So even, some of these guys, even though they got the biggest bag of XRP, doesn't mean they have the slightest clue where the market's going. They can move the market, but they don't see it coming. So where do whales come from? Whale creation. Ask yourself if you could go back in time to when XRP first came out at half a cent. How much would you buy? Right. Lots and lots and lots. I'm certain most people could even afford $1 million XRP, $5,000 worth at the time. You could have been a whale today too if you took this chance. So imagine how many perhaps wealthy people saw this relatively unknown coin, felt like gambling, and threw 500,000 at it. That's right, 100 million XRP. Some people have that kind of money to gamble with, and a lot of them are looking for the next Bitcoin. And all the stars align with XRP, so why not? So they take a chance. A whale is born. He's cute and small, and the other fishies laugh at him, but he's got a glimmer in his eye, and nothing but time to kill. How do they do the things they do to the price? The whale toolset. Visible buys or sell walls. The whale will put a relatively huge buy or sell order on the order books, effectively absorbing every sell or buy respectively. Order that comes in, keeping the price from increasing or decreasing until the overall sentiment changes and the price goes the other direction. This is why it's called a wall. The fact that this wall is visible to the public means they are sending the message. There's no hope of getting the price past this barrier, so you might as well give up. And with a significantly large enough wall, they will succeed in preventing a price breach. Moreover, a visible wall works quickly because investors give up trying to break the wall long before they run out of capital. The visible wall is used by whales to coax investors into the opposite price direction, like corralling cattle, at minimal cost to themselves because very few orders against their wall would have been executed before the price turned out. Now, remember, half the orders that are placed on these books never even end up going through. These are just shadow orders, right? It's whale manipulation. It's the exchanges in cahoots as well. And then they do invisible buy or sell walls. This is a little harder to spot, intentionally so, and this strategy is used so a whale can quietly accumulate or liquidate some or all of their holdings. Their bot will continuously put sell or buy orders in for small amounts, possibly on multiple exchanges simultaneously to increase the flow rate, and as they get consumed by trades, those same orders are repeated at similar amounts until the desired overall sum of holdings are converted. Generally, for this conversion to be successful, there has to be a strong buy or sell sentiment being acted upon by the investors, which steers capital flow into consuming the hidden wall. And by not putting the entire amount up for sale or purchase in a large visible order, there's no indicator to investors just how big the invisible wall is. They aren't discouraged like they would be with a visible wall and are more likely to keep pumping against the hidden wall, using a lot more capital than they would if the wall was visible, allowing the whale more of the desired liquidation or accumulation. You can actually see these thousands of small trades as they appear and disappear on the order books. They typically will have crazy bid-ask values with many decimal places, example, $1.17, that no human would contrive. Seriously, look for them. I'm not making this up. Now, I don't know what the price of the coin was at this time of writing. I think it was February 2018. So actually, it's hard to tell where we would have been at, because in January 4th, that's when we went up to the all-time high for XRP. January 4th, 2018, I believe, was the day. It was either January 4th or January 6th. But that was all-time high for XRP, about $3.80. So I don't know where it was in February, but basically you're placing an order that's well off from the currently traded price. Now, driving the price. During periods of low volume, lulls in trading activity, they can use multiple exchange accounts controlled by one bot or different whale bots working together on an exchange, or even multiple exchanges, to buy and sell low volumes of coins, micro trades between these accounts, while also consuming a thin order book. The term micro trades refers to the numerous, slow-paced small trades that whales make to accomplish their price manipulation. For example, during low volume, the order book is thin, meaning it would take very little trading to consume the immediately adjacent orders. If a whale wanted to slowly bring the price down, they would sell just enough XRP to consume the highest bids. This changes the market price of XRP to their last trade. They then wait a bit for everyone else, and their bots adjust their order's proximity to the last trade price, and then they'd micro trade again. Despite that this trade volume is very small and doesn't even cost the whales that much, they can over time dramatically change the currently traded price in whatever direction they wish. The faster the price change drive, the more expensive it is for the whales, because the order books typically have large walls a short distance from the current price. But a very slow, patient change allows the rest of the order book to recenter, so the whales don't hardly need to consume the order book at all, and even sometimes just trading between themselves for near net zero costs to counteract other people's trades that oppose the direction that they want the price to go. Of course, whales can also make huge trades, clearing out the order books and essentially driving the price quickly in any direction they choose. They only do this when they feel the sentiment of the masses can support the new price they targeted, and they can then slowly get their money back from the people invested in the higher priced XRP. So it's very clear, right? They can't just manipulate this thing one way or another and expect it to last. The best manipulation is kind of stealth manipulation, invisible manipulation, slower, methodical manipulation. Sure, this costs them a lot more money to execute, but the price is now where they need it. For example, if they want XRP worth a lot more and the order book has millions of XRP for sale, they would purchase it all, the parabolic begins, and then purchase from their other accounts or accomplices, further artificially driving the price up until finally they reach the target price. They trade between themselves if the order book is empty, because otherwise there's nobody to trade with. So they have to artificially seed the order book with the orders that they themselves consume in order to continue changing the publish/trade price. Propping. This is the act of locking in a new price plateau by sustaining the price where they want it with continued micro trading. This behavior is typically seen after a parabolic and subsequent correction. The intent is to allow the price to consolidate, which really means just build confidence in other investors that the new price will hold. This can take some time, but eventually the price sticks without further propping as investors get used to seeing the new price. Then they give you the fake out. They know other people's dumber bots are out there, and they also know people have stop-loss orders set up on exchanges. By the way, I'm firmly convinced that Bitstamp has a premium members-only portal where other people's stop-losses can be seen. Don't ever think you're invisible. And there's all sorts of shady stuff going on with these exchanges. Absolutely. And they are watching our trades. Absolutely. We're betting against the house, and they, can sometimes be actively trading against us while they see our orders too. It's stacked against you. By intermittently performing a rapid price drive down, the whales can trigger a bunch of stop losses and bot aneurysms, scoop up the cheap coins, and bring the price back up before human panic ensues. And everyone's favorite, the grind. Tick. There goes another percent. Tick. There goes another percent. Tick. It's Chinese drop torture, but dumb. Whales just slowly burn away at the price with spread out micro trades until someone after 5 days of no sleep finally completely loses their crap, I can't take it anymore, and sells everything. Gulp. Whale buys it all up and then micro trades the price back up. The same idiot then sees it going back up and rebuys all the coins he can, which is a lot fewer now because he's paying more for them than he had sold them at. And guess what? The bots sense the purchase and start micro trading down again, which again panics this idiot to sell everything. Yes, I've been this idiot many shameful times. Sigh, I no longer drink. And you're going to see the same thing taking place when we start to get this next run up. The FOMO is going to kick in so hard for XRP. The same folks that sold off their bags back down here at 50 cents and got fudded out, got shaken out, were crying, and they dumped their bag because they're mad that Chris Larson has a portion. They don't. But then when XRP breaks above $1 again, they're going to, buy in all the way from $1, $2, and $3, and then get dumped on when it goes up to $5 and then drops back down, right? So let's figure out how this all works together, shall we? First, let's get this out of the way by stating, by starting at the end, because everyone is so scared of this. The whale exit. Often cited as the pump and dump, this phase only applies to poop coins with no real utility, not the top coins that are still seeing growth. This is a very important difference, as I'll explain below, but for now, this whale exit strategy only applies to poop coins. Whales playing in poop coins get in when the price is super low, build a massive holding, and then start capitalizing on any good news about their poop coin. To use, I'm sorry, this is probably sounding ridiculous, me continuing to say poop coin again and again. To use as an excuse for artificially driving the price up, making the other investors think that the price dump was related to the news. They build artificial confidence in this coin by continuing to drive the price up with macro trades. They keep feeding off of the inexperienced traders that are attracted by the perceived gains that they think they might also catch the wave. At some point, the whale decides to sell off so they can wait for further good news, sometimes even playing a party to producing said news. It's funny that sometimes even playing a party to producing said news. And that's so funny because we just had the proper party, right? Pump the price a bit more and then use a hidden sell wall to exit their position as all the inexperienced investors rush in. Once the whale is completely sold off, there's nothing to prop the price up, whale's gone, and the coin dumps hard as everyone scrambles to get out. For coins with utility, however, the whales know that there's inherent and increasing value to the coins, so their strategy is the complete opposite. They don't pump these coins beyond inherent value, rather they try to suppress their prices, and they have no plans on cashing out while there's still promise of further growth. They just keep on playing out the feeding cycle explained below over and over and over. Some of you may believe that at some point they are rich enough and will stop manipulating the market. Sorry, my friends, grift is more addictive than crack and self-reinforcing lizard brain instinct that heartily bitch slaps those pesky mammalian brain instincts of love for your fellow man. Nobody becomes a whale by drawing lines of, I only need this much to be happy. Their desired wealth goals are more. This is good for us, however, because it creates a somewhat predictable, larger feeding cycle. Okay, the whale feeding cycle, the parabolic phase, attract the krill. The setup for this is the whale waits until there's some news that could be considered good, and the volume leading up to it is relatively low. In XRP's case, the opportunity came when Ripple announced their intent to do the XRP lockup. Never mind the endless other good news for Ripple around that same time that had absolutely zero impact on the price. Now that there's a seemingly rational explanation for a price increase, the whales micro trade the price up really fast, sparking an intense lemming-like investor rally that overshoots on its own momentum. Corrects hard, 30 to 50%, and then stops its free fall when the buys and sells equalize. At this point, the whales start propping the price at this new plateau with micro trades until the price stabilizes on its own. Phase complete. Our baby whales are suddenly pretty damn big, and it's not likely that there will be any new whales coming that can match these first adopters. Now we shift to the suppression phase, way down the price. And this is where we have been at for so long, for years, basically since this blog post has been written. There are two aspects to the suppression. killing upward trends and grinding downwards, with occasional fakeouts to keep it interesting. For killing uptrends, we saw between the XRP parabolics last year that no matter what good news came down the pipe, the price didn't significantly budge, or whatever budge happened didn't stick. Ben Bernanke speaking at Swell, zip. Partnership with tons of new financial institutions, 0. You can look at XRP for all of 2017 and put mark points where good news was released and nothing concrete happened at all. Nothing. And relatively speaking, the same thing has happened for the most recent 5 years, right? This is suppression, and even Ripple Inc. publicly announced they were actively selling during this time. That's not to say they are entirely responsible for suppressing the price, yet they acted in a way that may be confused for profiteering. But really, they were using the money from their market XRP sales to build Ripple out globally. So in reality, they were acting as a benefactor whale, which we'll all benefit from in the long run. Thank you, Ripple. And I would agree. The way that Ripple's done this is acting as a benefactor whale, where we get to benefit, all of us, in the long run, 100%. And we know from the court documents that they specifically used market makers so that they would have as little of impact on the price as possible. Because when you go to your bank and institutional partners, you don't want to be pitching a project or an asset that is incredibly volatile. And, whether or not you're manipulating it is coming into question as too. Ripple doesn't want that to happen when they're pitching to banks and institutions. As far as the downward price grind, however, it's quite easy to see that between the parabolics, XRP ran a repeating pattern of slightly up and slightly down, back up again, but not quite as high as the last time, and then down just a little bit further than the previous time for months and months. Mental torture. And that's where we're at. Now think about this. Galgatron wrote this in 2018, 5 years later, and we're still here with the mental torture. Realize that inexperienced traders react emotionally, and they only value the current price as an indicator of success or fail. This is why so many get left behind. They're not registering the importance that MUFG adopted Ripple and promoted XRP. They're not registering that central banks from around the world met at a private symposium with Ripple. They don't care that officials from the Chinese government had a meeting with Ripple in their San Francisco office. And I could, fill in what's happened the last 5 years. Over 5 central banks working with us, conversations with over 20 central banks. We have stablecoin live on the XRP ledger. US dollar-backed stablecoin. I mean, all of the partnerships and adoption that we've got over the last 5 years, right? These inexperienced traders react emotionally, and they don't pick up on this. They only look at the current value, they only value the current price as an indicator of success or fail. No inexperienced investors only see a price descent happening and get extremely nervous about losing their far too large for them investment. And, whether they shouldn't have invested $500, whether they overinvested $5,000, whether you're, someone who overinvested with hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Probably if you've invested bags that big, you're probably not an emotional investor. But nonetheless, these inexperienced investors can't handle this. And so what happens? And they get very extremely nervous, and their loose hands sell their cheap XRP. Gobble, gobble, whales reset the tap by driving the price almost back to where it was, or sometimes not even back up if they think they can shake things up just a bit lower and start grinding all over again. Also, very important, this activity is in no way limited to XRP. You will often see the entire litany of coins all moving in tandem. This is a result of the whales being diversified into all cryptos, and for which the same strategies are being applied to shake out coins from the weak hands. I repeat, the entire market moves in sync, virtually all coins together, because the whales are spread across all the coins. The synchronization is clear evidence of the whale bots in actions. Some of you may ask, how does holding the price down help them make money? Look at it this way. Let's say the price of a coin is $1 at the beginning of the year, and they want to cash out at the end of the year at $10. Does it matter if the price is $1 from February to November? Not at all. What happens between now and the target date is inconsequential in terms of profit. What does matter to them is trying to get as many of the coins as possible, as cheaply as possible. Think about that zoomed out on a bigger, time frame. We're at $1 at the start of the year, and we want to go to $10 by the end of the year. Well, think about a time frame over the next 10 years. We're starting here at 50 cents, and over the decade, we want to go to $50. So do we care that we're going to, go up and come back down and be suppressed here at these lower price for years? No. because we understand where this thing's meant to go. You've heard the old saying, buy low, sell high. Well, for us, that's a guessing game. But for whales, you can drive the price in any direction. They can predictably always buy low and sell high because they manufacture the lows and highs. And by performing these cycles of grinding, they are accumulating more and more XRP from loose hands, such that when they do allow the next parabolic, their coin holdings are much larger than if they had just let the price grow naturally, because the result would be that nobody would be inclined to sell their coins during this growth period. In other words, suppressing prices means people sell to the whales at a cheap price and they continue to accumulate, whereas allowing natural price appreciation encourages holders, which blocks the whales from increasing their holdings. Does that make sense now? The starvation phase, and we're almost to the conclusion here, folks. Whales can only shake out so many people before there are no loose-handed investors left, and all that remains are the seasoned investors that stick it to the whales. Hodlers say, starve the whales. Won't be taking my XRP. Moreover, if the whales keep the price down for too long, no new money will be interested to join the party. Seems like no more coins are going to come out. Famine ensues. So what's a sad poor whale to do? I've got it. Wait for some seemingly related good news, anything will do, and start another parabolic, which, like clockwork, will attract a whole new generation of inexperienced investors to feed off of. How about a $100 million XRP hedge fund? Nah. How about MoneyGram? Of course. It's so absurdly transparent. It also possible, and what's funny now is the MoneyGram partnership's over, right? At least for now. Who knows if they're going to flip the switch back on here once again. But for now, the MoneyGram partnership is not live. It's also possible for the current whale price suppression phase to end prematurely if something too big to control happens, like super good news, and the new investors come in all by themselves, naturally creating a parabolic. Either way, once things settle back down, the whale resets its feeding parameters to the new plateau and begins the feeding cycles once again. Wash, rinse, repeat. As long as XRP is expected to appreciate from all the forces that give it value, these feeding cycles will continue with intermittent parabolics to keep the fresh blood coming in. I'm going to repeat that once again, because this is what's coming. When we pump to $5, come back down to $1. When we pump to $10, come back down to $2. When we pump to 5, 8, 9, and come back down. This is going to be wash, rinse, repeat. As long as XRP is expected to appreciate from all the forces that give it value, these feeding cycles will continue with intermittent parabolics to keep the fresh blood coming in. In conclusion, whales are the scalpers of investing, no different than those degenerate pieces of crap that buy all those concert tickets so they can sell them to you in the parking lot at double the price. This fact doesn't change the quality of the concert, though. It's still the real thing. And XRP probably still is a great long-term investment. Let me reread that. It's still the real thing, and XRP is probably still at great long-term investment prices between price peaks. Be careful, though. You'll see virtually all parabolic run-ups are followed by a sharp correction, and you don't want to be on the top floor of that mess when the floor gives out. The time to get in this before the parabolic hits, don't chase them. It's right now, guys, when we're at peak fear, massive FUD. Everybody's giving up. Everybody's crying. Everybody's running. Instead of leaning into this opportunity where the whales are scooping up and picking up right alongside with us. Overall, the activities of these whales don't define a rate of growth. They simply obscure the natural increase in coin valuation that only becomes apparent after each new plateau. By drawing a line connecting the beginnings of each plateau, you can kind of get a sense of the natural rate of growth for the coin, which too flows a parabolic. This means the earlier you get in or got in, the more exponential each subsequent parabolic will impact you, assuming you didn't get shaken out, of course. It also means whales have zero net influence in the long run. So even though we're going to be going through these cycles, right, over the long term, we are going to continue growing in real value and growing in price, right? The moral of the story is don't feed the whales. Don't buy into the gloom and doom news that the sky is falling. Hodl. The sooner they run out of loose hands to feed off of, the sooner we can all ride the next wave up. If we all stick together, we can beat them at their game. In other words, don't let the whales price grinding get to you. You can't sit there watching the price all day. Take a week off. Enjoy life. come back to it later. You can't do anything but wait anyways. So don't waste your life staring at a number you can't control. Just trust in the fact that whales can't hold the price down forever, nor do they want to. Remember that, guys. They need to make money too. Do they, need it to go to $10,000 to make their bag? No, okay? But they need this thing to go up too. And it's going to, in a major way. I know it sounds sad that we have to deal with these Goliaths always playing with our emotions, but when has Darwinism ever been fair? Have faith that over time their influences will diminish with more global adoption and better dispersion of XRP assets. Among all of the sound reasons that Ripple Inc. held onto so many of their coins, I'd say their ability to act as a benevolent whale when necessary was the most brilliant, and their ability to highly distribute more XRP will be the diluting effect upon the whales that we'd all like to see. So maybe after all you've just read, hopefully you get it. Now it's quite obvious what you should be yelling loud and proud. Screw you, whales, I'm hodling, Sasquatch lives. And that was an epic thread there by Galgatron. And I think that the timing couldn't be better. After we just had the proper party pump, back down. After we've just had 5 years since that blog post was written of bear market, now we're in a recession, the times are tough, but we can remain firm in our belief, our understanding, our conviction, knowing that, yes, the whales have kept us suppressed, but they won't suppress us forever. When this thing does go, it's going to be violent, it's going to go hard, and we need to have our exit strategy or our reallocation program ready, set, and in place so that we can execute it when the time comes. And we don't want to be the ones caught holding the bag, brought back down once again, even if we get set at a higher plateau, like he said. Let's say, XRPayNet interview just aired this morning, and Christian said that we're going to be going to $25 to $30 by 2025 as his bull run prediction. So let's run with that. We go to $20-$30. Okay. We're going to come back down, and maybe our new plateau is going to be set at $5 after 2025, and through the 2026 and 2027 bear market, XRP is going to come back down to $5. It's going to build a plateau, and we're going to be suppressed at $5 forever, right? That's what I'm expecting. That's why I'm putting out this content. I know it took me a minute to read through this blog post, but I think that it's so important that we understand this, understand what we're up against, what we've invested in. The whales are against us in a sense, but they also are going to be part of the reason why this asset increases in price so violently. We just need to be prepared for that moment. I'm not here to give you financial advice, but if you want to know more about how I'm positioned to move with this market and how I have a reallocation strategy planned out, we talk about that over in my Discord group. You can head on over to my website, ZachRector.com, to get signed up over there. I will see all you guys in the next one. If we can smash it on the way out, I would greatly appreciate that. And may God bless you all. Thank you.